ratio. All right, next question. The common grackle is a species of robin-sized blackbirds that are fairly common, hence the name, over most of the United States. Suppose that long tails, big L, were dominant to short tails, little l, in these birds. A female short-tailed grackle mates with a long-tailed grackle who has had one parent with a long tail and one parent with a short tail. Okay, so let's go back through the question again. All right, suppose that long tails are dominant and short tails are little l. So we have a female that is short-tailed. Okay, so she's short-tailed. She has to be two little l's. So we know that the female is little l, and she mates with a male long-tailed grackle who had one parent with a long tail and one parent with a short tail. Okay, so this one is kind of tricky. So the male, we know that if he's long tail, he has big L. Okay, but one of his parents had a long tail, and the one parent had a short tail. If one of my parents has a short tail, that means that one of my parents must have been little l, and they're going to give this male a little l. So what is the genotype of the male grackle? The genotype of the male grackle is big L, little l. Okay. And then what is the genotype of their offspring? Well, we know that this female was short-tailed. So this is the female right here, and then this is the male. So we'll put the female up here. We're going to go little l, and we'll put the male over here. Okay. All right. And then we just going to figure out what's in the Punnett Square here. So we have big L, big L, little l, and then little l, little l, little l, little l. All right, and so what is the genotype of their offspring? So that means what are those letters? What is the genetic makeup, right? And we know that we have, if you look here, you have two that are big L, little l. So we'll go ahead and we have two of those. And we have two that are little l, okay? So there's two of those. And again, we want to reduce it. So now I'm down to a 1-to-1 ratio. That means 50% of those are going to be big L, little l, and 50% are going to be little l. And what is the phenotype of their offspring? So what that means, what does it actually look like? All right, and we know that big L is long tail. So if I look here, big L, little l, that is a long tail. And little l, those are going to be short tails. All right. And if I look again, I have a 2-to-2, or reducing it, I have a 1-to-1. So 50% of the offspring are going to have long tails, and 50% of the offspring will have short tails. Okay, and our last problem is the ability to curl your tongue up on the sides, big T, tongue rolling, is dominant to not being able to roll your tongue, little t. A woman who can roll her tongue marries a man who cannot. What will be the genotype of the offspring? So the ability to curl the tongue is dominant. A woman who can roll her tongue. So if she can roll her tongue, she is going to be big T, or big T, little t. And she marries a man who cannot roll his tongue. So he's going to have to be here, little t. Okay. So this is a little bit tricky because it doesn't... it wasn't specific enough for this question. They didn't tell you what the mom's parents look like. So we're just going to go ahead and pick. And why don't we go ahead and pick this one right here. So we're going to pick these two. So we know that little t, we'll just put them here at the top. And we'll put these here on the side. And then we just go ahead and fill out our Punnett Square. Okay. And so what is the genotype of the offspring? So we have inside the box, we have big T, and we also have little t. And if I look, I have two here, and so that will be a 1-to-1 ratio because I reduced it. And the phenotype of the offspring is I have 50% or half of them that can roll their tongue. So we'll call them tongue rollers. And I have some that these guys right here cannot roll their tongue. And so I'm a 1-to-1 ratio, or 50% of the offspring can roll their tongue and 50% cannot. All right, so I hope this helped you. And if you guys need any extra practice, you can always go back and rewatch it or ask your teacher for some more practice problems.